right. Let's call the meeting to order if we could, please. Please bear with my lack of voice. I'll have a hard time as it goes down. Too loud. First order of business, not on the agenda, Jeff, but you have a copy of it. The public notice for the annual fiscal court meetings. Since I want to change, we are wanting to change the January meeting for the media. I'm making the official notice that the January meeting will be the 8th and the 22nd, which is the second and fourth Tuesday. And from February to the rest of the year, it will be on the regular schedule, the first and third. You guys have a copy of that in your mailbox, and I need fiscal court to approve that legal with me.
You're saying that the first two meetings in January will be regular meetings?
Yes, consider regular meetings by doing it this way.
Okay. There won't be a special meeting.
Won't be special. We can talk about it. It gives you a little more flexibility.
Right. I'll make that motion to accept that.
Thank you, Keith.
Second.
Second by Jeff. Further discussion? All approve, say aye.
Aye.
Disapprove? The motion will carry. Next order of business would be the minutes. Minutes from the December 4th meeting held to the magistrates.
Motion to approve is presented.
Motion from Sam to approve as presented. Is there a second? Second. Second by Eric. Further discussion? All approve, say aye.
Aye.
Disapprove? The motion will carry. Next would be your bills list and additional bills list and transfers. On your bills list, I have another draw for the Stevens Cluster Story, or the amphitheater project, recreation support for Bloomfield and New Haven, and weather sirens, outside weather sirens. That was part of a grant. Joe here today?
What about the carpet at the Justice Center?
That was an insurance settlement.
State.
State reimbursement. Actually, that was a major water line, condensation.
Got stopped up and I can go through the details.
Yeah.
It's an
No,
insurance
it's fine.
claim, that's all.
And actually, there's some more bills coming through.
There'll be a lot more.
Other questions?
I'll make a motion to pay the bills and transfers as presented.
Thank you, Keith.
I'll second.
Second by Bernard. And approve, say aye.
Aye.
Disapprove? The motion will carry. Next would be the second reading of the ABC ordinance for the county. We already approved on first reading and advertised for second.
Motion to approve on second.
Thank you, Sam. Is there a second to that motion to approve the ABC ordinance?
I'll second it.
Second by Keith. Further discussion?
One question. The city has already approved this, is that correct? Are they?
City has their own separate ordinance.
They have their own separate ordinance?
Yes.
Okay.
Questions? All approve, say aye.
Aye.
Disapprove? Motion will carry. Next would be a report on the Humane Society contract for the new magistrate here and coming in. About 6 or 7 years ago, the county contracted with the Nelson County Humane Society to operate the animal control building. I call it the intake building where the animals, loose stray dogs are picked up and brought in and then worked with and either adopted or euthanized according to whatever category they fall in. The Humane Society now has decided they no longer want that contract and that responsibility. Judy Cook, one of the lead folks that are kind of supervising that role, is going to start stepping down to the side, and nobody else wants to step to the plate. Be aware of it. If nothing happens, then we'll need to hire personnel to manage it and operate it. I just make the court aware of it.
In lieu of the funds that we...
In lieu of the $68,000, $63,000 we pay. It's been a good thing for both parties.
Yeah, it has worked pretty good.
Very good.
And according to those folks, money wasn't the sole issue.
Yeah.
Money's always an issue, but it wasn't the sole issue. Next would be cable TV franchise ordinance. City of Bardstown has a franchise agreement with the county that expired. You got a copy of that from
Yes.
I don't know what that's about here. Yeah. You may have picked some of your stuff.
I may have, I did pick some of it, that's fine.
Here.
I'm,
So, for the residents outside the corporate city limits, actually for the whole county technically, man. We have to issue a franchise agreement, an ordinance that will allow us to advertise like we did with Bluegrass. So we'll have to re-advertise for a contractor, which the city will be probably the only contractor that will provide cable TV. It's what we call a non-exclusive franchise agreement, which means somebody else can still come in and provide the service. Follow us on that. Counties have that responsibility of controlling those franchise agreements.
Now, do we get a stipend from the city?
That goes to the state and then they send it back to us.
Yeah.
It used to come all direct to us. So I need a motion to approve on first reading and advertise for second this ordinance that would allow us to do business with a proposed, whether it be Barstown or whoever. The folks from the south end might want to come across the river and start providing cable TV. Spectrum. I think it's not Spectrum now, but
Yeah, it's Spectrum.
It's on Spectrum. We've had so many over the years.
is in the same thing, can City of Barstown go to New Haven if they want to?
Yes.
Okay, so it's open?
Yeah. It's called a non-exclusive, all over the county.
So this is not, this doesn't have to do with Kentucky Wired?
No.
Yeah.
Need a motion to approve this. Motion been made by Bernard Ice,
Second.
second by Jeff Lear. Discussion?
Just book noting that it's got a 2018 date on it. It'll probably be signed in 19.
We started on that month.
It's been a work in progress, but I appreciate you pointing that out.
All approved, say aye.
Aye.
Disapprove? Motion will carry. We'll advertise in that group, please.
With the amendment, I guess the amendment from 19.
19. Okay. Next order of business would be announcement of vacancies in the county offices. I have a letter of resignation from the sheriff. He dressed up for us today too. Sheriff will be resigning December 31st. The county clerk will be doing likewise, retiring December 31st. And our jailer will be retiring December 31st. So that leaves a vacancy in all public offices for 6 to 7 days technically, and 6 days technically. That being the case, I'm going to enter these in a matter of record, Elaine, if you would please. I have orders, the county judge appointing Jeanette Sidebottom to the office of Nelson County Clerk. And as far as sheriff, Raymond Pinarola as sheriff. And John Bucksnellen as the jailer. Court approval is necessary. So that fills that gap. On December 27th, right after Christmas, Judge Sims will be swearing everybody in, and that oath of office will be sufficient for this order. Follow what I'm saying, everybody? Put those in a better record too. Somebody any questions, court? That Lane, by the way, brought that to my attention about a month ago.
Do we need to vote on that?
No, sir.
No.
Matthew, no.
Correct.
Yeah, no. The main purpose of that, going through those procedures, is that Lane brought this to our attention. The conservative lady that she is, financially, it would require a second audit of the sheriff and the clerk for that 7 days. And that's extra cost to the county. So that was good reminder there, Lane. Appreciate that. Give credit where credit is due.
Thank you.
Okay, the sheriff, Newton has an amended budget. I gave you guys a copy of 3 pages of his current status of his budget. the last page, go to the last page, the three, it's, I think, go to the last page. Vehicle equipment, Sheriff Mattingly did not budget any vehicles in that budget. And Mike wanted to wait till towards the end of the year before we bought any vehicles at all for the sheriff's office. History has shown the last decade or so, Fiscal Court has bought 2 cars annually, and the sheriff has bought 2 vehicles annually. And Mike, when you got down to the end of the year, you feel comfortable you're going to have excess fees enough to be able to purchase 2 additional vehicles. You went to the state price contract, bought 2 vehicles, total of $74,155. And put an explanation in your mailbox of a comparison between the Explorers and the Tahoes. Yellow sheet, I emailed you guys on that.
Yeah.
So what I'm asking the court today was, yes, Mike?
I just want to let them know that what we end up doing, I had to call all the, like the Fords, Dodges, all them. The only thing they had on the lot was the Chevrolets, and nobody else could guarantee me any vehicles before the end of the year. So that's the reason I had to go to the Chevrolets. For whatever reason, Ed didn't put them in there, and because I don't know if he knew I would have the money at the end of the year, which I had more than enough to take care of it, so. I'm
Actually, going to have some excess fees to turn over.
And so me, I had to wait, and so unable to do a bid. Now, like next year, when the 20s comes out for the
Late fall.
then be able to put in bids like in September, and then the cars could, normally they were always delivered before December, before we had to turn our money back over. So it always worked out before, but a couple times when I was in before, we had to buy off to state contract price. And this has just been one of them that I was pushed under time-wise for me. So that's the reason I had to bid on them. And they was the only one who could guarantee me to have a vehicle here before December.
And these vehicles are the police package?
That pretty much. But they won't be.
They're not the interceptors.
They're not the interceptors, but they won't be used as a patrol vehicle. They're for detectives.
Okay.
Take the two vehicles that detectives are found now, pass it down to the fleet.
Yes. The unmarked ones that the detectives have, since we're not getting Ford interceptors for next upcoming year, so we've taken them off and put them on the roads, so we could have try to get through 19 without having to. If we went out and bought the Dodges, we'd have to get completely different lights, striped, and cost a little bit more money.
And Mike, for the media, Mike bought those off state price contract.
So that's a reason they had to go through all that.
Motion to approve the estimate of the sheriff.
I'll make it budget, or motion.
Second motion.
I'll say.
Second by Jeff. Discussion.
It'll be interesting to see if that Chevrolet holds up as well as the Ford.
All approved, say aye. Disapprove? Motion will carry. At this time, Raymond, you have passed out your budget to the magistrates.
Yes, Judge.
That budget, take it and read it, digest it. We will bring it to our January 8th meeting, your approval, disapproval. Raymond has sat down and gone through the numbers. He's actually solicited a little help, if you don't mind me saying so, Raymond.
No, I don't.
And we sat down together and went through it line item by line item. And I want to commend Raymond for that process. I really appreciate you having me to have input on that budget. It pretty much mirrors what we're doing over the last few years. Really, it's not a lot of difference.
We tweaked a couple of things on line item 14, which is the fees collected for commissions. We went up because we are budgeted, or we slated to collect more than the $950,000 in the last 2 years. So we went up in that line item. We've gone up in a few line items, just a hair, not a whole lot. The other line item that we had was the $100,000 for the state clep, and we will be filling in 2 vacancies. Captain Clark left back in August. That position was not filled, and Mike resigning and me taking over my spot is open. We've started a process. We've done interviews, and we're in the process of hiring 2 brand new guys that are laterals. Laterals meaning law enforcement experience. They'll be ready to be on the road within less than 6 to 8 weeks after our PTO program at the sheriff's office. These 2 guys that we're in the process of hiring, they are from Nelson County, live in Nelson County, and we hope to have them on the road by no later than the end of February.
Thank you. We'll bring you'll be here.
Yes, sir.
January meeting.
Borrowed money, is that the advancement?
Advancement, $400,000. See, at the end of the year, for the public, for the media, for the new magistrate, at the end of December 31st, the sheriffs have to have a 0 balance. He'll turn over any excess fees to the county. And so, for the first few months of the year, the sheriff has no operating capital. State created a pool of money years ago where the sheriff's department all over the Commonwealth can borrow money to advance, and it has to be repaid. 0%. Yeah. Good deal. Okay, next order of business would be pickup truck bids. You guys received a copy. If you look at the paper like that, you just got it there. These are 2 pickups out of the road department budget, and 1 out of
Two out of
the landfill, and 1 out of road. They were
3
budgeted-
total?
3 total. And we'll pass down those vehicles to some of the other folks in here. One being him, Price. The other one goes to
Paul Draper,
Paul Draper.
Brian.
Brian Boone.
Yeah, Brian, he's up, that's lit. It looks like the Chevrolets were the cheapest, based on the state price contract. John, is that right?
Yes.
And you want to put the bed liner in them. So for the media, the winning bidder was Tim Short, Auto Group out of Winchester. Motion to approve. Motion by Bernard Ice. Is there a second?
Second.
Sam Hutchins, discussion. I saw that coming out of your expression.
Yeah, I guess the only question I have, I mean, that's obviously the lower bid one you should probably go with, but I didn't know if the court usually, do they try to entertain local bids?
Oh, yeah.
Even if they have to pay just a little bit more? I mean, $9,000 is probably.
1,900 over what I,
Yeah, it is me too, but, you know, I just.
if it's a
feel
couple
like
$100, yeah,
if
we
you-
can adjust it.
If you can inject it back into your local.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I was disappointed.
Yeah, I was a little disappointed. Okay.
Just for educational purposes, it's come off a state contract, but only the ones who respond to the bid on the state contract, I mean, they have availability, or is that what it usually indicates?
There is only 1 or 2 dealers that have state price contract, generally speaking. One of them's usually in eastern Kentucky or western Kentucky, usually, or central, I guess. This guy's in east.
This guy's in Winchester.
Manchester.
Where this,
Towards east.
this dealership.
Yeah. I don't know if anybody else has Chevrolets or not. I've tried for years to get Franklin to bid on it, but he doesn't want to deal with the state price contract. A lot of paperwork involved. A lot.
I delivered advertisement to them too.
Yeah, yeah.
They choose.
This is the first time since I've been on the court that we've bought Chevrolet for that reason.
Yeah.
They've
Typically,
never
Conway is
bid.
in the-
Typically, the Fords are the we want.
Yeah.
That's a good product.
Oh, yeah.
How many miles y'all got on y'all's truck?
I have no idea about it roughly.
We got like 93, I believe.
Yeah, that's something bigger can.
112 on mine.
They still got life enough for the other.
Right, right.
That's what.
They've held up pretty good though, haven't they?
There's anything wrong with those trucks.
John, me and, me and Master Lear's talking, so that's the bigger cab as well at a cheaper price, is that right?
Yes, it's called the double cab, which is not like a really big, it still has the 4 doors that open up, but it's a smaller version, not the,
It's not a crew cab.
not
It's not a
through
crew
cab.
cab.
We used to call them,
Extended, it used to be
Ford called them
extended.
super cab, I think.
They all call them something
Yeah.
different now.
Yeah.
Depends on which flavor you pick.
Okay.
Sooner than my thinking.
You made the motion, I think, didn't you? Barry, did you make the motion?
Yes,
Who made the second?
I did.
Sam did second. All approved, say aye. Disapprove. Motion will carry. Road Department report. Lee,
I'll let him, I believe.
the regular business.
Mine's short and sweet. We're about to finish up on the tree debris removal, have a couple days left. We've been kind of going back and forth with tree debris removal and a few
For the
other
ice.
maintenance jobs. Yeah, that's for the ice storm. We're still continuing shouldering. We're currently in the south end of the county, shouldering some roads that were overlaid this summer. We had a small snow event on December 5th. The county, overall in the county, was about 1 inch to 2 inches. There was some localized areas that received about 4 inches, just down in the Howardstown area. We only used about 22 tons of salt, though, to do the whole county. It was a real quick event. And the boom mower's still currently down. We had to send the second pump off to get it checked out. I believe it's about like our great all was. When the one pump went down, there was probably some shavings or in the lines that
You will learn. You
went to
will
the second
support.
pump.
Don't bring up the boom board.
Don't bring up the boom mower. Yeah.
You get a lot of calls.
The District 1's still waiting for it.
You will
Yeah.
learn.
Broke down
You
ever
will-
since I've been
After a
on.
few times, you will get tired of reporting.
I'm anxious to get it going. I should know more in a day or two about the status of that second pump on the boom mower. And that's about all I have.
I put in your mailbox a resolution, an updated resolution from the last court meeting in regards to Highway 150 and the widening project, the Maywood area, Les Ballard Lane area. Brandon State got corrected information and other bit of maps.
I can't see the Leslie Ballard room.
It's on the second page.
I know, it don't show.
I cut it off maybe just a little bit.
Yeah.
He cut our heads off on that.
Yeah, you can see a little triangle ground that's gonna be there, but that's
Give
it.
them, they know what I'm talking about.
I'll talk since Dean can't. Did y'all get the second page?
We ain't got that.
Here, Brad, there's all we got.
All you're getting is that little chunk right there given to you.
Yeah,
That part.
Well, I did it right, you tell Brad.
Right.
almost.
That is correct. You did it right.
He did it right to his correction.
The biggest change, the only thing that's changed from the last time you guys saw this, was you remember there was this whole discussion of there was a private section versus a public section. They realized what they showed us didn't include all of the private section, so they have revised it to include that entire section that we've discussed in the past. You guys kind of recall this?
Yes.
Okay, the state agreed, yes, what they given us didn't include all the way from the entrance back to what was originally platted and shown as a private driveway. So this is revised. This is new and improved.
And as long as they agree to fight that fight, I'm good with it.
But this is on the state. What the state is asking us is, when Sam says fight that fight, once they figure out between the state and the property owners, and if it either gets resolved or condemned or whatever, at that point in time, once that road's built, what you guys are voting on is if we will accept that into our county road system. And that's what.
That little small segment.
That little small segment. And that's honestly cleans it up.
Yeah.
The way we've always wanted, that section
And
now,
that's what
comes
we've
in.
talked about for years.
Right, it's continuous and connects on to what's the existing Maywood Avenue.
What is it, 10,000?
You just knew I had a question on it, didn't you?
I can tell, corner of my eye.
That existing portion that's there now, what will happen to that? Are they gonna abandon that?
The existing portion will go back to the property owner, the people who own it right now.
Well, that wouldn't cause a future traffic problem there.
No, it's been completely taken out.
Okay.
The reason they, partially the reason they want to keep that, the signage right there.
Right,
And so, trust me, we don't want to maintain all that. Let them have it, let
I
them keep it.
understand, okay.
So what that resolution is, again, is once the new road is built, once the new curve, S-curve comes through there, and they get done, then that resolution says, yes, we'll accept the charge.
And we're only accepting this platted roadway, nothing, we don't have any dog in the fight where they've taken all this property and so forth. We just, you see what
That
I'm saying?
resolution only includes
The roadway.
that roadway.
Okay.
Description of item number 1
Yeah.
and item number 2.
Then you've got the revised,
Yeah,
That little piece of ground, it includes that too, right?
yeah. that was
anything
part
that's
of this.
pink on what he gave you.
Okay, yeah.
Go-
This plus that little piece of ground.
Your first resolution is dealing with the neighborhood
Right.
interest. Your second, item number 2, is dealing with Leslie Valley.
Right.
Yeah.
Motion
So motion
Yeah,
to
it's a
approve.
good thing.
motion been made by Sam,
Second.
second by Jeff. Further discussion. All approved, say aye. Disapprove. Motion will carry.
Don't even have to rename this one, Jeff.
All right.
You would have to bring that up. You would have to bring that up.
Thanks for your work.
Right?
Sometimes you gotta laugh at yourself.
Thanks for all your hard work on that, Brad.
We got luck, which has that.
I'm gonna do a few reports, we'll come back to the road department. Landfill solid waste.
We got our backhoe back, we had the back boom repaired, so we got that back from Wayne Supply last week, so it's good to get that back up and running. Another quick reminder to the news media about our holiday schedule. We'll be closed Christmas Day and New Year's Day. So Monday will be regular schedule, and then the rest of the week will be a day behind. So Tuesdays we picked up on Wednesdays, and Fridays we picked up on Saturdays. Other than that, normal operations.
Okay, EMS report, Joe's not here, do you have anything to report?
Nothing to report on EMS, Judge. Gerald sends his apologies, got called kind of an impromptu Medicaid meeting in Frankfurt. He did want me to address just one quick thing on the EMA side. Our state EMA manager had called us a few weeks ago about having some extra funding left. Joe had applied for a couple of new weather sirens. We did get approved for those. So that brings us up to a total of 3 new sirens for the year for the state EM. That's it.
You're basically replacing some of the old.
Yes, it's replacing Cox's Creek, New Hope, and Fairfield will be where these 3 new ones will be.
Thank you. Joe, report, Marcus.
Okay, today we have a total of 122 inmates. We don't have any serving weekends. We've got 3 on home incarceration. We have 48 state inmates. We have 7 that's out to court in other counties. We have 4 that's serving time on drug court, so we have an in-house total of 108 inmates. For November, our daily average control intake, we had 665 man days, that's a daily average of 22. Class Ds, we had 1,120 man days. That's a daily average of 37. Nelson County had 2,257 man days. That's a daily average of 75. So our total for November was, we had 4,042 man days, an average of 134 inmates a day. New arrivals and releases for November. For arrivals, males, we had 234. Females, we had 51. Releases, we released 136 males and 38 females. District Court, we have 5 that is sentenced to jail out of District Court. Waiting for court, we have 24. Home incarceration, we have 3. Work release, we have 2. And of course, our state inmates, we have controlled intake 17. We have 26 Class Ds, 1 alternative sentence, 4 parole violations. We don't have any on home incarceration from circuit. We've got 6 that we use as community service. Of course, the 4 on drug court. So we have, in circuit court, we have 52 awaiting to go to court. So we have a total of 76 that has not been final sentenced in district or circuit court.
I knew you would take up enough time to get me back in here.
Dorcas, that 108 in-house today, that's the lowest that's been in
Probably
forever.
a year.
Probably in a
Probably
year.
more than that,
Yeah.
More than that, probably.
more than that.
Yeah.
That's good, must be doing something right.
Wait till New Year's.
Yeah. Christmas all day there.
Setting the bar pretty high for a new jailer, right?
Bryce, recognition.
Little League girls basketball is officially over for the year. Little League boys basketball had a successful preseason tournament this past weekend. I'm going to start working on the regular season game schedule. Still working on a good date for a rec board meeting, probably shoot for sometime in January. And other than that, basic park operations.
Under old new business, I want to go back and bring up the road standards that we talked about in the past couple of meetings. Brandon, we'll pass out the copies, ask you, please.
All right. Just to make sure you guys looked at the right stuff.
That's right, Eric brought to my attention.
This is December 5th. This is the one that's, you know, it's all colors and
Okay.
The blue was the one that you made correct.
It's thick.
Recommended changes at December 3rd, 4th meeting.
I knew you'd back there somewhere. Here, I'll give you one here a second. Just let me use this one. Dean, you want me to handle it?
Do the best you can.
Again, the only thing that you guys would see is, again, striked out was to remove, yellow was original discussions, and I'll just get right to the nuts and bolts of it. On page 6, roadway construction to subgrade. The way I wrote that was one property per soil type within the roadway shall be obtained. Jeff, we talked about that in the last court meeting, so I added that in. The only other item, page 8, sound. There's two things, but I'll cover the sounds thing that you pointed out. On the last paragraph, I said approved road may, I changed that to shall. That we shall do approved road of the dense grade instead of may. You guys see that?
Yeah.
All right. Now, I'm going to try to explain this up top. You remember we originally said I was going to let people use GPS systems to lay the initial the dense grade. And I have to put a thickness now. If you guys accept the thicker dense grade, there has to be a maximum they can lay. You can't let them lay all 9 inches. They can't get it compacted right. And this gets real complicated as far as when you put a curb in, how much rock they put down first, and the curbing. It had to match out to where I could allow them to do 6 3/4 of an inch. Guys, I'm asking for another 3/4 of an inch of rock. Just trying to be transparent. It's not a big deal.
Oh, to get your 5 and 12 or your 6 and 12, whatever the curve is.
Yeah, in order to make sure you got enough curb showing the way they install it.
We're
It's
getting
really
very
complicated. Because what they do is when they install the curb, they actually dig down 2 inches into the rock. And the way we're doing our asphalt and whatnot, the mathematics works out. I gotta lay 6 3/4 of an inch of dense grade first. They can either lay it with the GPS unit and let me approve it. They gotta ask that. Because if somebody can't show me that they've got the equipment or I don't have a comfortable level with them doing it because I've had issues with them maybe in the past, then I won't let them do it. They'll have to use that rock box or the paper. I'm not going, that's a very minute detail in my opinion. You guys, we can discuss it more if you want. Let me find any other items that were included. Matthew gave some suggestions on naming roads. And Matthew, I looked at your email basically off, and I think you guys had noticed Matthew again followed up a day or two later. I believe all you guys were involved in that chain of emails. Correct, Matthew? I thought I saw that. And he was basically just clarifying to make sure we're following the law the way the KRS is stated. Now, I want to make this real clear. It's, my page isn't right. I hope y'all's page is. Page 16, the very bottom. I want to make sure it reads right. It is something specific, Matthew said. If 50% of the property owners residing on a county road agree to a name of a county road and present a petition to the fiscal court, the judge executive shall rename it. That is by KRS. That is not, fiscal court doesn't get to name it. By KRS, Matthew, you can correct me if I'm wrong. At the end, it's the judge executive that names it. Are you guys right, or is mine the only one that's wrong? What's yours say? Does it say fiscal court, or does it
No,
say?
this one says,
The judge executive.
Okay, well, I got it wrong.
County road.
Correct, Matthew? Correct me if I'm, okay. That's by KRS. That's nothing that we're trying to sneak in.
So 50% of the road, or the people on the road present you with the name?
Present to fiscal court. Then you guys,
Or recommend it to the judge?
well, but at the end of the day, he's the one.
So he could change his name on it if he wanted to?
No, it says shall.
But the judge is the one that truly names it.
And that's because that's what the statute says. The statute says.
No one conflict would be if it's already an existing road.
Well,
But the same name.
there's verbiage in here that, should be.
No, it's all new roads, ain't it? The subdivision can't come in tomorrow with 50% and say, we want to rename our road.
Yeah.
Is that possible?
That's already in state law now.
Yeah.
That's already in state law now.
Change roads.
They wanted to.
If they wanted
They
to.
had to go there and change all their
No.
addresses,
Right.
driver's license.
It's hard enough getting somebody on a private road to change
All
their
right,
stuff.
Yeah,
Jeff, what are you looking for now? I may
yeah, I
remember.
found it. That's just in here.
Okay.
Judge, just to your point, if it's not a duplicate name or something like that, the end of this states, it says, provided the name meets all other requirements of
Correct.
this section.
And guys, what Jeff's getting at, you gotta follow the law, you gotta follow how we name roads logically, and that's, I think that's what your
Yeah.
point is.
We go through a long section about, how to name a road. If you don't follow it for renaming, it doesn't make a lot of sense.
So that is what we had discussed from last court meeting, and what little bit of feedback I got back from you guys and Matthew's input on this. So we've all looked at it, and we'll just get down to the nuts and bolts of the big stuff. Yes.
One little typo here,
Okay.
where it says existing.
What page, Jeff?
16,
16?
same section there.
Okay.
It says existing or improperly, I think you want existing unnamed or improperly named public road.
Existing or improperly named public road, County? Matthew, I think you,
Well, would you have an existing unnamed road?
that's what, yeah.
Some of the private
No, I
roads.
think you're right, it's in the section before, you're correct.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Yeah. Existing,
We shouldn't have an unnamed public road, is what Matthew was saying. And so we put that sentence above it, Jeff, for private roads.
existing or improperly named public. Okay. That's right.
I know it's
It's reading it.
That's right.
Confusing.
I think that's good.
Yes, I'm sorry.
Okay, so that's the nuts and bolts of it. Now, the true nuts and bolts of it. We want to get down to truly where the discussion lies, is page 7. And page 7 for the public is where we talk about thicknesses. And that's where, the discussion between you guys need to be on what the court would like to proceed forward. And I will stop talking at that point.
It's doing good so far.
I'd like to stay employed.
You know, I'm going to say something. Main purpose of this is try to get the court a little more life in our roads. Over the years we've had, you've heard this.
It's a good thing because we ain't hearing it now.
You're exactly right.
Here, I'll hit Alex, because you can have talk.
I was going to say, the monies we spent in several different subdivisions in my district and in Jeff's district as a rule, and it's because they've been the most carved up districts in the county. And we spent a lot of money over the past years because of some substandard soils and some substandard work that was done. And the whole purpose of this was to start from this point and this point
Improve the
forward,
quality.
is to improve the quality of the roads. Ultimately, it protects the taxpayer on the amount of monies we dedicate into these subdivision streets and repaving. So we can get 4 or 5 years extra life if we do this.
How do you know that?
There's no guarantee.
There's no guarantee, but I mean, ultimately, if you put a third more material in the ground starting out, you should get a third more lifespan out of this thing down the road.
Not necessarily, it depends on the soil.
But Keith, Brad sent me a spreadsheet that we could adjust some of the thicknesses and the way they were engineered, and it predicts life of the road. Pretty interesting stuff. It's not a guess. I mean, it's a scientific study.
numbers
So it's
verify.
not, it's not like we feel like it, and then it's going to be, because, I mean, there's a lot of data. If you go to some of the Kentucky Transportation Cabinet's websites, they don't guess on a lot of this stuff. They do a lot of studies, and a lot of work. I mean, Lee's been to this Road Scholar program. There's so much data out there on road constructions and crash data and everything. These guys spend a lot of time on it. Yes, it is going to be an additional cost. I think everybody understands that. But if we get some more road life on it, especially in some of the areas that we're going into now, where the soils may not be as good as they were in some other developments. But no, it's just it's how long do you want these roads to last? And keep repaving.
And even if you pass these, you're still under the state standards. You're still
Still in state minimums.
In addition, to that data, there's a lot of other communities around. I think you said the city did a bunch of research on.
Yes. I
this
think I
land.
gave that to you,
Yeah,
but
But the city's only 8 inches. Why are we going to 9?
It ain't 8. I looked at theirs right off
City's
the
at
man.
9.
They're the city of Morristown.
That was their study. That was their initial study. They changed.
But they've adopted the 9-inch today. That's what they have. They've adopted this new one.
What's the new?
That's what they did back before.
You got the new one,
before
Brad?
Thanksgiving.
Got the new one right here, City of Barstown. I'll take it. Sorry, my lap's completely full. My plate runneth over.
This is where they just, this past year, same thing. Basically, we're doing the same details.
So this information's not correct, John?
We don't look like
It's an inch off. That was their preliminary study.
Well, this is what Brad handed to us off the bat for comparison, right?
That's what the city had, Keith, as far as what they were investigating. What they adopted right there, dude. I looked at their,
They probably had discussions that decided to upgrade that.
I don't know, I'm a little lost.
I think the city looked at each local state, how made that road fail, what it cost, put it back in shape. They realized it didn't do it right. Standards too low.
Comment.
We've been going over this for a while, and I've been kind of thinking about it. I've been thinking about it a lot. I think it's tough to ask people to spend more money on a government mandated thing, but at the same time, I've had zero pushback on this. Not one person has called me about this.
Me either.
I haven't had anybody pushing back on this, and ultimately, if in the 5th district, if I could get 5 more years without having to revisit that area, because honestly, I don't think we have enough money to keep the roads up over with our allotment as it is now. I'm just wondering, I kept waiting for some opposition research, but all the data that I've been provided is, it seems like a common sense decision to me. Just tell me if I'm wrong, I'm thinking that way.
Well, I think it's all a projection. Nobody, we're compared to Nicholasville, E-Town, Oldham County. Our ground's nothing like our ground. I mean, our ground is Nelson County ground. So we're projecting that it's going to work. I don't think there's any of us in this room knows whether it is or isn't. Most roads, you're going to have, probably let's say a 4,000-foot road, probably going to have 3,500 feet of that road is going to be perfect. Where your wetlands are, where your big culverts are, where it catches all the drainage from wherever, you're going to have failure. You're going to have failure in the cul-de-sac.
So heavy clay predicts failure, because 5th district is covered in heavy clay.
Mine ain't the best district in Michigan, not to say that's why we don't have most of the
topsoil's been
There's one
stripped.
thing for sure about it. We know what's working, what's not working now. I mean, we've got enough roads out there that we've got failures that's happened all along, so we know it's not working. And the contractors will do what you require. If you only said 2 inches, they'd put a road in with 2 inches of material.
Oh, I understand that. I understand that.
They love that.
So
But we got some
if you're
roads.
elected to do the job for the people of Nelson County, then you want to do the best you can do with the amount of dollars that you have at hand. And I think this is a good thing. I think we can't go wrong by doing this.
I just hate the fact that it's raising a lot. Your kids, his kids, everybody's kids in here, $1,500 to $2,000 a lot. It's $1,500 right now, but Mago's price is getting ready to go up. It's a known fact. The rock quarry's going up. It's a known fact. So the $1,300 to $1,500 per lot is probably going to be realistic.
So we're going to have to raise taxes to be able to keep up 7
No.
years from now.
Now, it's a projection again. There's some roads here that's lasted 19 years.
Some.
Same, oh, there's 19, there's 5 that made it 17 before an overlay. So it means it's working in areas, but some areas it's not. But do you make the areas that it's working in do this too?
It's gotta be uniform.
I know, I agree, but I
That
don't
means
know.
that 17 years will be 20 then.
Keith, we had the same argument when we come in with the footer inspection. Everybody agrees the footer inspection is the right thing to do.
Absolutely.
Same argument.
It protects the
Yeah, it
homeowner.
costs more, but the houses don't fail.
Right,
I agree.
that's true.
Yeah.
I'm good with it personally. I think it's a good plan. I think we've done our, yes, I'll make the motion to approve the current roadway restrictions.
Standards.
Standards, excuse me.
Second.
Second, any further discussion? All approved, say aye.
Aye.
Disapprove. Oh, yeah, aye.
I don't have to be either one, I'm just gonna say neutral.
Motion carries.
So what do
Dean,
you
I'll
do?
clerk.
Tell me,
I
Ray.
have 4 yeses,
Sam?
1 abstain, 1 abstain.
And Matthew will talk from Dean since he's had control. This doesn't have to go through a second reading or a notice in the paper because it's not an ordinance. So
It's an
about-
order.
It's an order, so now going forward, this will be the new standards when somebody designs something. There's something, remember we discussed?
Except
Except
for
for the
the
ones up,
grandfather being correct.
And I
The
agree,
county
if
engineer
if
has
you have
already-
their
Correct.
plat approved, then it should be built according to what's required.
yeah, the plans, not the
Yes.
plat, the plans. Okay.
Yes, I agree.
Okay. Under old new business, if you haven't met Carol, I have a new assistant now for Carol Bryan. You're right at Chesterfield. One more thing I'm going to do before we go under old new business.
I don't think you're gonna do it.
I'm going to try. Does this microphone work?
We're gonna do some karaoke, Judge.
Hey, there, now.
We don't want that.
She's got the mic anyway. Bear with me.
Yes.
First, I want to thank Mike Newton. He come dressed up today too, I like that. Mike Newton for this past year of service to the county, coming back and filling in the gap for us. Thank you so much, Mike. And I have 3 people I want to recognize today. And we talked about, are we going to have a party for the outgoing elected officials? And county government doesn't pay for those kind of expenses. And I remember a word my wife's grandmother told her one day. Katie asked her what she wanted for Christmas. And she said, a kind word. So you 3 are going to get a kind word. Sam, you're the first one. Sam Hutchins has been an excellent magistrate. He's been a real team player with the right amount of independence. By the way, that's a terminology a little more sophisticated and hard-headed to add real strength to the court. Seriously, Sam has served for 12 years. Am I right on this, Sam?
That's correct.
His special talent has been the exceptional ability to read and comprehend the materials necessary for our decisions. We all could take a few lessons from Sam on that point. Sam, thank you so much for your service. You will be missed.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Next is Elaine Filiatru. Elaine Filiatru has managed the county clerk's office with dedication and great detail. Her management skills have served the county well, and the result has been a financial boost to the fiscal court budgets. In fact, the state should use her office as a model for the clerks of the Commonwealth. Her accuracy in preparing the fiscal court minutes have been great. Elaine, thank you very much for your service to the county, and we will miss you. Next is Dorcas Big. Dorcas sent me her letter of resignation about a few days ago, and I almost cried. She's crying right now. You get me crying, I'm coming after you. I've known Dorcas so much longer than I've known most of the other folks. Dorcas Big has dedicated her life to public service like the modern world will probably never see. Dorcas has served the county for 50 years. That's 50. Lane's not too far behind, but I didn't get the number on Elaine. I can attest to her dedication, her compassion, and expertise in the correction standards. Treating inmates with compassion while following correction protocol is never easy. Dorcas, thank you for your service to the county, and may God bless you. You too will be missed. Any other business before the court?
Just to follow up on that, last week, Magistrate Lake Coulter and Magistrate Shelburne and I attended some newly elected training, officials training. They made a few friends and probably a couple enemies. I think they're realizing what they've gotten themselves into. There's a lot of information given, and it was a good few days to spend watching them get this journey started. And I too want to thank Sam.
It's a lot of fun.
I enjoyed working with you, Sam.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
And the rest of them.
Yes.
I've had a good time.
Motion to adjourn.
I got one thing I'd like to say. I would like to thank the Trigg family for their donation that they have gave $38,319.81
This year.
to help with Whitman. And I just want to give a shout out to them. I want to give a shout out to all the county workers, all the magistrates, anybody that's affiliated or helped Nelson County in any way. I want to say thank you and Merry Christmas and Happy New Year and for everybody in Nelson County.
This is not election year.
Now, I still want to thank them. They all do hard work. They all make Nelson County what it is. Sam, Dorcas, everybody. I want to thank you all.
Motion to adjourn.
Motion.
Second.
Last time.
All approved, say aye. All approved? Disapproved? Eric made the motion.